Good morning everybody and welcome to Total War Warhammer 3, a turn-based real-time strategy game set in the Warhammer universe.
We are the bringers of death!
No, not that Warhammer universe, the other Warhammer universe.
Blood for the Blood God!
Okay, no, not really, but close enough. As I said, Total War Warhammer 3 is a turn-based strategy game with real-time battles, and like every other strategy game ever created, the goal of this one is very simple. Complete and utter world domination. I'm sorry my guy, but I dibs this, so get the fuck out. To achieve that lofty goal, you're going to need to build up your armies, invest into your economy, research stuff and level up your agents and generals. The key to winning any conflict is to pour more money on the problem than the opposition. Sun Tzu circa 1979. It isn't a very complicated game, so instead of telling you about every detail it has to offer, I'm going to tell you about my latest endeavor. I hadn't played the game since launch because of the customary shit show it had been, but I saw that they released the Immortal Empires map and fixed some of the performance issues, so I decided to give it a go. I booted it up and shows my boy Grimgor Ironhide, the leader of the Mushroom Kingdom Nintendo don't want you to see. Our goal for the day was quite simple: to raid, pillage, and generally leave as much of the old world worse off than we found it, and if possible finish a short campaign because it's something I never do. Our journey began in the unassuming province of Path to the East, which isn't the catchiest name ever, but it was home. From this place in the ass end of nowhere, our Mushroom Kingdom would sprout. It would take hard work, a lot of wheeling and dealing, plenty of fighting, and most of all, a lot of eating. All I'm saying is it really cannibalism if you're a fungus-based life form? And most of them are goblins. The first thing we had to do on our quest for world domination was to secure our home province, and that meant beating the ever-living shit out of this guy. So we attacked and started the first battle of the game. 3.5 minutes later, Grimgor had brutally killed approximately 100 goblins, and we had won our first victory, which we immediately celebrated by eating the captives. Captives. 2 turns after that, and we had found the leader of the invaders and convinced him to join us by launching several goblins strapped with wings into his army.
Tactical nuke incoming!
We then renamed him Dave as a joke, recruited a full stack of boys for our main army, and that's when we saw him. He was big, probably smelly, had 4 legs, and I'm pretty sure he has tricked some of the boys into some sort of demonic pact at some point in the past. So naturally, he had to go. The fighting would probably be fierce, a lot of boys would inevitably die, but the glory, the loot, and most important of all, the eating would be legendary. So, over 3 hard-fought battles, the victory was won. Kolek's Sun Eater was dead, his faction destroyed, and we had freed our brothers from the Blood Haze. We also gained this cool trait and dinged several times, bringing us to the prestigious heights of level 7. Wow. Having defeated their master, we also accepted a very lucrative peace deal from Kolek's Viking toadies, which we then immediately broke the next turn. Okay, hear me out. If we don't know what we're doing, then they definitely don't know what we're doing. It's called strategy. Look it up. One downside with this strategy, however, is that my reliability went from this to this, which might not have been the main cause for the local vampires and some ogres to immediately declare war on us, but it probably didn't help. Thankfully, we had given Dave a whole new army. Sure, it was made up solely by goblins, whose chief strength is being expendable, but it was pretty funny. So, we sent him to deal with the giant ogres, while we personally dealt with the pesky vampires. And then we took this, and killed these 2. We also picked up a few more enemies, and somehow became the strongest faction in the game. Progress was made. Being in a pretty stable position, we decided it was time to complete the first of Grimgor's legendary lord quests, so we could get his unique weapon, an axe called Gitsnik, which I forgot to record. Oops. But I did remember to record us eating the captives afterwards, so at least we got that. You're welcome. At this point, we had expanded our empire quite aggressively. We were at war on 3 fronts, and our armies, while powerful, couldn't be everywhere at once, a fact that the High Elves were all too happy to exploit. God fucking damn it, the fucking elves are back! We had lost our first battle of the game, and there was metaphorical blood in the metaphorical water, and on the following turns our enemies grew from 3 to 8. So we had to scramble build some more armies and send our new guy, Gurgsag, to once again turn the Chaos Wastes into the Dead Wastes, because we killed everyone. When I'm done here, they're gonna call this place the fucking the Dead Wastes. Yeah, fucking got 'em. Fuck. Having somewhat stabilized, we decided it was time to take on the second of Grimgor's quests, to find his super special Mega Armor, and this time I remembered to record it. Good job, me. It wasn't an epic battle in any way, but it did give our boy a significant boost in confidence and also some much needed swag. God damn! I'll make this look good. It was also about this time I decided to poke my cat, because I like to keep him on his toes. Speaking of cats, after having acquired the armor and axe, we were viciously attacked by huge, disgustingly mutated, hind-leg walking, man-sized redacted. That's right people, the redacted are real, and if you've been naughty they will come to your house, steal your uranium and nibble on your cheese. And if you don't know who the redacted are, I could tell you, but I would have to kill you. So, in order to squash this new problem, I decided it was time to throw our weight around in the diplomatic arena, since we were the #1 strongest boy in the world. Wait, what the fuck? We're only rank 2! Why did this happen? Shit! So, we talked to the orcs across the valley, and through a lot of diplomatic finagling and careful backroom dealings, we convinced them to join up. So, having secured the allegiance of Asag, the second legendary orc boss, we pushed back Redacted out of our valley. It was about this time I decided to send out one of our agents to check out what the rest of the world was up to, and the things we saw, they were not good. The Empire was all but gone, and in its place ruled none other than Vlad von Karstein, a vampire lord and the arch-nerd of undeath, which made me rather nervous because we shared a long border with him, and me having eaten the vampires on this side of the mountain range probably didn't do me any favors. All I'm saying is that if Gork and Mork didn't want me to eat the flesh of the undead, they shouldn't have made it so gosh darn finger-licking good. So, in the interest of keeping the peace, I built another army and told the Golden Order to give me 1 whole gold or else. In my mind, this was a done deal. There was no way they could refuse me. They immediately refused me. And completely unrelated to that, the following turn Vlad declared war on us, and there was more raids from the elves. I don't know how to say this, gentlemen, but we're in trouble. So we fought Vlad in a mano rumble in the jungle showdown of the ages and broke the back of the vampire menace, and generally secured our borders to the north, west and east. But there was a growing problem in the south. So to deal with this upstart, we sent in Dave and his goblin legions. They fought hard, they fought bravely, but in the end, Dave was dead, and a man named Herman had killed him. Rest in peace, Dave. Not only had Dave's death caused emotional distress throughout my empire, but it also left the south wide open for attack. So, in the following turns we lost several key battles, settlements were sacked or taken, our boys were dying in their thousands. And when things were looking dark and we needed him the most, that's when it happened. Like a green cockney phoenix, Dave had returned from the dead. At the head of a mighty host of goblin fanatics, he went to plug the hole in the south and was yet again slain by Herman. Good job, Dave. During this whole Dave returned from the dead and then back to the dead arc, I felt it time to try out just how good of a fighter Grimgor had become, since we had pumped every skill point we got on our grubby hands on into his fightiness, so we found a suitable army, hit about 2,000 orcs in a small copse of trees, and let Grimgor do his thing. In the end, he had faced down 800 of the Empire's okayest troops and barely taken any damage, which was pretty nice. It was so nice, in fact, that we decided to give it another go. But this time I remembered that we had just unlocked the usage of the greatest spell in the entire game, the Foot of Gork, which is exactly that, the foot of our patron deity descending from the heavens to squash our enemies. At this point, our main army was so good that we faced off against an army of 2,350 of the Empire's finest and lost only 22 boys. This victory made me feel undefeatable, like nothing could stand in our way and that our victory was all but assured, which stood in stark contrast with the fact that Herman Gorst, the man who killed Dave not once but twice, was at this very moment pushing his cold, undead appendage deeper and deeper into the midriff of our empire. But that was a problem for another day, so I decided to yet again throw my weight around in the diplomatic arena, and we did it by telling the French to attack the Germans or else. The bad news are, we are now at war with 16 factions. The good news, however, is that we are going to ignore the problem, because there is no conceivable way the French are going to cross the entire map walking through vampire-corrupted lands half of the way just to get to me. Oh, how wrong I was. Turns out that I had severely underestimated the French, and they were now sieging down the gains we had taken from Vlad earlier in the game. And being the first time we faced the French in battle, I naturally had to fight it myself, which turned out being a big mistake. Oh, fuck, we lost to the French, boys. God damn it! But all was not lost, because while all this had taken place, Grimgor had crossed over the mountains again, and together with Grisguts, he had pushed back Herman, and in the same turn that Tempelhof fell to the French, so did the capital of the undead nuisance who from this point forward shall not be named. That, combined with the gains in the north under Uglok the Horrible and Dave thrice returned, now leader of an army made up solely by Black Orcs, had made sure that we were now stronger than ever and in a perfect position to achieve a short victory. A few more turns after that we'll see the end of the Elven raids, the banishment of the French and the clearing out of Kislev from a rather large redacted infestation. And after that we won. We won a long victory. That's right, boyos, with the burning of Kislev, we have somehow completed all tasks needed for a long victory. I was stunned, shocked, and more than just a little confused, since we hadn't achieved a short victory, but feeling pretty happy about the situation, I decided to play a few more turns, just for fun, in which we fought and beat Wurzag, the Great Green Prophet, and absorbed him into the boys, killed some sentient trees with Dave and his new boys, fought the Chinese, for which the CCP killed my frame rate, and finally after that spawned the endgame event, Vampiric Ascension, in which all the original vampire capitals spawned several full stacks of units, 3 of which happen to be under my direct control. So, as the final closing of the video, I decided to fight out the siege of Castle Drakenhof, where Azag and his 2 damaged armies would face off against 4 full stacks of Vlad's finest. The battle was hard fought, and too late did I realize that the key to my victory would be killing all of the enemy generals, and when I finally focused the remnants of my forces on Vlad himself, we were far too few to take him down. And so, Drakenhof fell, and I decided to call it a day. I was confident that I could eventually beat them, but I had already won a long victory, and the script is at this point about 7 pages long, so that will have to do. And there we have it. We had our highs, we had our lows, but in the end we won a campaign and we left the game as the most powerful empire in the old world. And with that, I would like to thank you all so much for watching. There's more videos to come, so stay tuned for that. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know down below. Peace! Also, comment, like, subscribe, ding the bell, and all the other things YouTubers are supposed to say. Nice, okay, bye! That's disgusting.